This current wide open dating market, how can we promote black women's images in a positive light? Because I think that they suffer from bad promotion, something I want to cover into this video. 90s rappers and comedians were ruthless in destroying the black woman's image and marketability in this current wide open dating market. We need to help black women now to remediate this image. Hi guys, good morning. Happy 26th of December. I just wanted to run through this thought that I had. Us Gen X folk becoming the elders, we are, and the boomers, but I think we're more connected to the millennials and the Gen Zs. But one thing I started to think of, things don't really change that much. I think they evolve and they change slowly, but things come back. And people who were in the 70s would remember bell-bottom pants, and these bell-bottom jeans pants, they went out of style, and then they came back in, I think, the early 2000s, late 90s. The bell-bottoms came back. Now they're kind of part of the fashion landscape. Now let's talk a little bit about the dating market. The dating market is evolving, and I want to draw an analogy to something that happened in the 90s. And I think it was basically when the US basically opened up the market and allowed China, to do a lot more things. And that was the whole thought of globalization. And Canada, the US, and other people, they started to be more friendly to, importing items. Today, what's happening, we're faced with a dating market that basically is really wide open. And having a wide open dating market means that there will be natural winners and losers. And a lot of it has to do with promotion. And, promotion, I'll say promotion and preferences. And what's happening is, who is being promoted by the media, who is being promoted in, sports, movies, all of that stuff. And what we're seeing is, it's not only big corporations that are pushing this, it's actually consumers. Because if you release a movie and no one watches it, then producers have to go back to the drawing board and they have to create a different movie. The one thing that I have been seeing is that there is a pecking order, and that pecking order is on the men's side and on the women's side. And what's being obvious right now is that there is a bit of a European standard of beauty on the women's side. And on the men's side, it's a bit different. It seems to me that yes, there is a European standard there, but it's not as prevalent. It's more about providers and protectors, and also what's cool. And that tends to be a little frivolous, and I don't think it stays long, because growing up in the late 80s, rockers with long hair, that was cool. And rappers, NWA, they were cool to black folks, and they were a curiosity to white people. But today we're seeing where that black rapper or singer with dreads is kind of an icon right now. And also the Bieber with the tattoos and Travis Barker, that type is still I think really the big pop icon. But what all of this means is, in the dating market, the pecking order for men is a bit more fluid. And we tend to find that generally people go for successful men, then they go down the line to stable providers, then they may go down the line to maybe what's cool and all of that stuff. On the women's side, it's a bit different. It seems like it's kind of a bit more rigid in that, the European beauty standards is on top. I definitely see that Asian women are definitely with K-pop, that promotion of K-pop, and Japanese people with their coolness and anime and all of that stuff. It's great. So they're there, and then I think, especially in the black community, I think there's a lot of love for Latina women. So therefore you can definitely see that being formed. Now, what does that mean for black women? And it's something that's very interesting when I look at it, because it's right now they're not in vogue, and I think that that's something that needs to be repaired, because of the fact that when I turn on the TV, it's the Equalizer with Queen Latifah. I miss the days when I saw Scandal and Olivia Pope and all of that stuff. I don't know if Zendaya is a good representative. Like look at the representation. It's Zendaya, it's Doja Cat, it's Megan Thee Stallion, and some people don't like this, but it's actually Cardi B. and Daniele, is there and that. Now, what happens to our Brandys and our Whitney Houstons, who were more like the archetypes that I think that black women were more comfortable being represented as? And we're not seeing a lot of that, and that I think has an issue, because in the late 90s you had Monica and Brandy, as you said, you had TLC, you had En Vogue. It was a landscape. SWV, I love that song Weak, and I remember singing that song as a teenager, going, wow, these are beautiful women. That promotion is not there anymore, and who owns that promotion? And it's something that to think about as we go forward, because the dating market is being influenced by what's being promoted and what's liked. And I think that image that black women has needs to be repaired a bit, because there's too much of this trope of this angry black woman, and you go on YouTube and you see it too often, and it does tend to reinforce a bad stereotype. Something I just wanted us to think on.